Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan from ChartGuys.com. You know, behind every single video that we put out every single day, there's a wonderful community of traders that we want to invite you to be a part of. Try the free 7-day trial and gain access to our live market broadcasts every morning and afternoon, interact with hundreds of like-minded traders, or take part in one of our dedicated chat rooms, each led by an analyst that's there to answer your questions in real time. Our trial is risk-free with absolutely no commitment or credit card required to experience the TCG community. For those looking for a head start in technical analysis, check out our entries and exits course in the link below in the description. Get up to speed with the fundamentals of TCG technical analysis and experience over 5 hours of great community-driven trading education. Hey everyone, checking in on natural gas, starting with the weekly time frame. So we saw a clear bear break here, and I'm switching to NGQ 2017 as we are getting ready to roll over, and the volume on the daily chart's good enough to switch for me. So we're seeing a lower high and a lower low on the weekly time frame with a lot of volume down here. And this is significant because it changes momentum. We look back here in all of 2016, we've had a really nice bounce play out with higher lows and higher highs, but now we have a lower high and a lower low that shifts things. That being said, we have pulled back so significantly in the short term that we can anticipate a bounce to form in the short term. Looking at the daily RSI, we're coming just off of oversold. We bounced off the 30 RSI level twice. And looking back historically in the past 6 months, we bounced just below 30, just above 30. Haven't dipped below 30 significantly since February and March 2016. So we are anticipating a short-term oversold bounce, but looking at the weekly chart, I would absolutely anticipate a lower high to form as a result of that. So you could make the argument this is a bullish reversal hammer on the weekly time frame. Need a green week this following week to confirm it, and major resistance for me is up at 312.7. That was the high of a bounce attempt back 2 weeks ago. So if we do see the bulls get some momentum, we will be looking for a lower high to form somewhere around the low $3 range, and we will be looking for the bears to maintain control. So it all depends on the time frame of your trade to determine what you're looking at in terms of the time frame of the chart. So if you're looking longer term, you're looking bearish. If you're looking shorter term, as in the next week or two, you're looking for an oversold bounce to begin playing out. So resistance in the short term is 298, and then 310, and then 312.7, that level. So you can see we had the dump, a bounce attempt, and then continuation to the downside. Bullish MACD cross will get going if we can head back up into the low $3 range, and watching to see for a shift in the daily momentum. Getting some more detail looking at the hourly time frame as to what needs to happen. We can see bouncing around within this range pretty significantly, and we can put up some lines here. Alt-H, there we go. So some resistance lines where we have not closed above, and some support lines where we have not closed below. That's the channel that I'm currently watching. Perfect rejection from that resistance, and we can make it exact there. So a perfect rejection from resistance back on Friday, and then consolidating, and we can see the lowest pullback. We bounced off this level 3 times now. 1, 2, 3, 4 actually, with this wide range back on the inventory report. But that's the channel that we are watching in the short term. And the bulls have to get over that resistance to start this week on a right note. Looking at UNG, need to change the charts here. So UNG on the daily time frame, pullback significant, lower highs and lower lows, very clear. Similar bullish MACD cross close to following through. Bulls have to get over 666, and then we're looking up at 690 and 694. So those are the resistance levels to be watching. Short-term bounce anticipated. RSI is doing the same thing around the 30 level. And looking at the longer-term weekly time frame for UNG, just looking back, we have to keep in mind we are in a very long-term downtrend since 2014. And the bounce that did occur in 2016 was an oversold bounce. Look at the RSI on the weekly. It dropped all the way down to 18. And we did see that bounce play out, but the momentum has shifted back to the bears. That's the bulls tiring themselves out after about a 10-month bounce, and now shifting back to lower highs and lower lows. So zooming in to get some more details on that shift, we can see, actually I want to look at the 2-year chart here, just so we can capture that bounce in 2016. Then we hit the top, then we broke the higher low pattern, and now we have another lower high and another lower low. So support is down at 643. If we break 643, we're looking down at 628, and then the all-time low of 578. And in terms of the bullish action, again, we're anticipating short-term upside, but I will anticipate a lower high to form compared to 793 to keep these bears in control. So the commodities, a lot of these commodities are in trouble, and Oil and natural gas just made significant shifts on their weekly trends after bouncing all of 2016. It is shifting back to favoring the bears longer term. And so we have to keep that in mind for the energy sector, and we have to keep that in mind for plays like CHK that have exposure in both oil and natural gas. Anybody that has exposure in oil and natural gas are not liking the past 2-3 weeks of action where we have broken to lower lows on the longer term weekly time frames and shifting momentum from the bounce that played out all 2016 and telling us that that might be the top of this bounce and we might continue this downtrend. So very cautious, bullish on the oil and natural gas and the energy sector going forward from here. But again, it all depends on the time frame, because both of them, both oil and natural gas, I'm bullish short term. I'm bullish in the next week or two for this bounce to play out, but anticipating a lower high on this bounce to be set and the longer term weekly time frame to remain in control of those bears. So I appreciate you watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.